In this video, we're going to look at our Forms Builder tool, in which you can build forms inside of each event and collect responses for those forms. So we're going to click on the Events tab in the main navigation bar to go inside of one of our events. Then we're going to select the event here, and we're going to click on the Forms Builder link inside of the event. We have not built any forms in this event yet, so we're going to start build one from scratch. We're going to click on the Add Form button, which then asks us to provide a name for the form. We have an option to include our company logo and name on the form, and these would be the same logo and name that are on your dashboard. And then we're being asked if we want to capture any of the following identifying information from our respondents. The items that we select on will turn into fields in the form, and they will be required fields that respondents will have to input information. And this takes us right into the form building area. There are those required fields that we just created. At the top of the form here, there's the button to add a new form item or question. You can email a link to the form to your contacts, and you can click here to view responses. We'll get to those in a moment. Here is also where that is the URL of the form. So if you click on that, it will take you to the form, and you can also cut and paste that URL or that address and put it in an email to people that you want to respond. You can text it to people or whatnot. Once you're inside the form, you can change these fields here and what's required by clicking on the Edit Required Items and then just selecting or deselecting the fields. So we're going to only require a full name and email address from our respondents. So let's start adding some questions to our form. So I'm going to click on the Add Form item, and once we do that, we can input our label or our question for this particular item. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by just including a descriptive text paragraph, just telling our respondents what they will be responding to. So I'm going to select the explanation note item, for which no answer is required. This is just a text that you would put somewhere inside of your form. It could be at the top, it could be in the middle, wherever you want to place it. That is just descriptive text. And I'm just going to add a quick paragraph or two here about who we are and why we want why we're requesting this information from our respondents. And once I'm done, we'll just click on the Continue button, and that item has now been added right here. Next, I'm also going to add an image. So I'm going to select the image option, which I can display an image with the label text. So I'm going to put my label for my image right here, and then I can select my image from my desktop. And I'm going to select just a venue image right here, and I'm just going to drop that into our form just to show you how you can include an image inside of the form. Next, I'm going to create a question. And this first question will be, what type of event are you going to have, or are you planning on having? And for this, I'm going to have a multiple choice option. And the system gives you the option to, if you want to make a question required or optional. And once we've done all that, it takes us to a screen where we can start adding our answer options. So I'm just going to add a few options here. Just going to type it in and then click on Add New Option when I'm done typing. And I'm just adding event types here for my answer options. And I can always go back and edit my options by clicking on the Edit button next to the option. I can also delete options by clicking on the delete link, and then I can select this icon right here to drag and drop the order of my answer options if I want to reorder them. And once I'm finished, I just simply click on the Done button. And when I scroll down, here is my new multiple choice option. And this is just a select one option, so only one answer can be selected. For my next form item, I'm going to use a long text box. So I'm going to ask my respondents to describe the goals of their event, and I'm going to use the long answer option. I'm going to make it optional so that the respondents aren't required to answer this question. For the next form item, I'm going to ask my respondents what their budget is for their event. And then when it comes to the item type, I'm going to select short answer, and I'm going to make this answer required. And there's the short form or short answer option. And I can always go, by clicking on the edit button, I can always, next to the question, I can always go back in and edit that particular question or that form item. And for my next item, I'm going to ask these respondents what best describes the style that they want for their event. And for this one, I'm going to select the select one or drop down menu item type, and I'll make this required also. And then for this particular item type, I will put in my answer options for my respondents, and I'm just going to add 3 or 4 of them here. And again, if you want to edit these answer options or delete them, you can just use the links next to the answer options, and you can also use the drag and drop to rearrange the answers in the order you want them to be in. And when you're finished, just hit the Done button. And if I scroll down, as you can see, it is a drop-down menu where someone can select a single answer option from the drop-down. And if you click on the More link to the right, it gives you options for moving the answers around or reordering the answers. And we'll get to that here in a short little while. And finally, for this last option, I'm going to ask for this last question, I'm going to ask my respondents what items or things their event will include. And this will be a choose all that apply. So we're going to use the select all that apply or checkboxes item type. And we're going to also make this optional or required instead of optional. So we're going to require our respondents to answer this question. And then here is where, again, I would type my answer options that people can choose from. And the form tool can be used for a wide variety of applications. If, for example, you need to collect information from a new client or a new event that you are planning for someone, you can use it to collect feedback or more information from your team members who you're planning the event with. You can use it to collect responses or feedback from some of your attendees after an event. You can use it for a variety of reasons. And once we're done here, we'll just click on the Done button. And let's say for the time being that we are done adding items to our form here. So now let's say we want to reorder some of the items. One of the ways you can do this is by clicking on the More option and moving things. You can also drag and drop things drag and drop the form items by clicking on the icon with the 3 lines and then dragging it to the place in the survey or in the form that you want to place it. I can move that right up there. And I can again also click on the More button to move an item all the way to the bottom, which I did right there. I can also move an item all the way to the top of the form, which I did right here. And then again, I can just simply drag and drop items using the 3 lines icon. And if the item is fairly long, I can click on the More button and just move the item up or down 1. So I'm just going to move that down 1. And again, these features just allow you to move the position of your items throughout your form. You can also clear the responses for a single item here, and you can delete the item by clicking on that link right there. So now that we've created our form, let's collect some responses. One way you can do this is clicking here on the email link to potential respondents. You can customize the subject line right here. I'm just going to add some customization to it. And then you can also customize the body copy. But before we do that, we're going to send this to, we're going to put Lindsay in there. But on second thought, I want to send this to a few more people than Lindsay. So I'm going to select a few other contacts who have been assigned to my event because I want them to receive this particular form to respond to. And then I'm going to add a few other items here to my email body copy. You can see the link there, and that's the link to the form. Do not edit that, because if you do, it will not take your respondents to the form anymore. But it is a live link, so once you click on the Send Now button, your potential respondents will be sent that email, and they'll be able to click on the link in it to go to the form. And in fact, I'm going to take you there right now. So I'm going to show you what your respondents would see in the email. And here's the email we just sent to one of our respondents. So I'm going to just select that email. Here's the customized body copy with the link that we can click on to access the form. And so I'm just going to click on that link, which will take us to the form so that we can fill it out. And here's what that form looks like. And so here are the top required fields for their identifying information: first name, last name, email address. And then below that is the text field we created, as well as the image that we included. And then here is the multiple choice option. Here is that drop-down menu option. Here is the long answer text box, where we can provide a long answer. Next is the short answer text box. And finally, the last question is the ability to select more than one answers. And at the bottom of each form is a CAPTCHA code, just for security purposes. And once all that's filled in, the respondent hits the Submit Now button, and it will tell them that their responses have been submitted. So now let's go back to the form. And on the main form page for this event, it will show us that we have one respondent at this point. Now, to view the respondent's answers, we can click on the Open button and then click on View Responses, and we can click on either Sorted by Respondent or Sorted by Form Items. So we're going to look at by respondent. Here's the person who just responded. We click on View Responses, and we can view that respondent's answers to the questions. And you can also, to the right, click on the PDF link if you want to download a PDF of just the answers for that particular respondent. So we'll just open up that PDF form here. And inside of that document, it will just show us that person's answers to the questions. And you can also click on the PDF option here at the top to download a PDF for all respondents for this particular form. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what it looks like when multiple people have responded to a form. So I'm going to show you that right here. So there have been 6 total respondents to this form at this point, and this little graph here will show that 4 completed the form and 2 did not. I can click on the More button to also view my responses by respondent. So here is the form we created a little bit ago with more respondents and what that would look like. So if I click on View Responses for one of the people, it shows them the answers. Here's what it would look like for a respondent who did not answer all of the questions. It will just show not answered for the ones that they had left blank. And so on. You can just keep clicking on the View Responses for each person. Again, you can click on the PDF next to each person to download a PDF for just that respondent, or I can click on PDF for all respondents to download a PDF document for that provides the responses for each person. So I'm going to do that right now. And you can see here the responses from Alice, from Jack, from Claude, from Brent, from Lindsay, and from Monica. Now you can also view responses by form item. So we're going to click on that button right here. And you can see instead of people, now these are the questions that we've asked. So if you click on View Responses here, for things like multiple choice questions or the drop-down menu questions, it will give you how many responses for each answer option, as well as the percentage of people who responded to each of those options. Again, gives you a good rundown. For those text responses, it will provide the answer and the respondent's name next to that for that particular question. And again, it will show number of responses for each answer option with the percentage. And you can also click on the PDF link next to the answer to just view the responses for that answer, or you can click on the PDF button at the top to view all answers collectively for the questions. And I'm just going to show you what that looks like right here. There's the first question with the number of responses next to each answer option. The second question, third question, which was a text field. The fourth question, which was a short text field. And the fifth question, which was select all that apply. And again, I'm going to click on the Back to Form link here, or button. And you can always also view responses in this area by clicking on the View Responses button right there. Now, if you create a form and you want to save it as a template so you can use it again, you just click on the More button, click on Save Form as Template, select the form, and then click Save. And once this is done, the form that we just created has now been saved as a template in the Templates area of our account. And so I'm going to click on that to show you where it's been saved. I'm going to go down here to Forms Builder, and you can see here is the form that we just created that has been saved as a template. We can click on the Open Form option, and here it will look very familiar because you can pretty much edit any or all of these questions or items inside of the form. You can add more, you can delete some of these. I'm going to click on the back button because I'm going to start to add a new form template inside of the area here. This is if you just want to create a form template from scratch here in the templates area. And again, all this should be looking familiar at this point because it's pretty much like creating a form inside of the event. So I'm going to quick add a few form items here to this new form template that I'm creating. And for any questions you have that might be yes/no questions, I would recommend using the multiple choice option, and then adding the answer options of yes and no. And then I'm just going to add one more form item here, and this is just going to be a select all that apply item type. So select all that apply checkboxes. I'm going to make it required, and then I'm going to add my answer options here. And once I'm done with adding my options, I'll just click on the Done button below. And you can keep adding more and more answer items or form items to the template, but I'm going to quit at this point and go back. Here is my new form template that I just created. I can always go back and edit the settings and edit the required information. I'm not going to include my company logo in this. And now I'm going to go back to my event, and I'm going to add this new form template into the event I was working on. So I'm going to go into my event, click on the Forms Builder link, click on the More button, and then select Import Form Template. And I'm going to select the template we just created, click on Save, and now here's that new template that has been turned into a new form inside of my event. If I open it up, I can go in and edit, delete the existing items I put in there. I can also add more items, and it just works like a regular form inside of the event now. And finally, a quick rundown of what you can do here in the overview page. Inside of each form, you can reorder it by moving it to the top or the bottom. You can clear all responses, which would clear all the responses for this form, or you could delete the form here. And you can also, if you have a lot of different forms inside of this event, you can search or filter your forms by typing in the name of the form here to search for them. And that is pretty much how to use our Forms Builders tool to create forms so you can collect responses from your clients, team members, or whomever you need to collect them from. Please let us know if you have additional questions, and thanks for watching.